What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you an NFL discussion video on why I believe the Dallas Cowboys should forgo their potential pursuit of Ashton Jeanty and focus on a guy like TreVeyon Henderson in round two of this year's upcoming NFL draft. Let's get into it, guys. So, I've been having this in my notes for a while. I didn't know how to really put it, but before I really had TreVeyon Henderson going to the Cowboys, it's not a really prediction, but it kind of is, kind of sort of. But basically, I just wanted to say the Cowboys shouldn't target Jeanty with that round one pick. They need other blue chip players at other positions. If I'm not mistaken, and first thing first, before I go deeper into the conversation, I'm an outsider looking in. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, but this Cowboys roster isn't that bad. I think they have a bright future. We'll see what happens with Mike McCarthy, but I think they're in a good shape. And running back one doesn't have to be a true RB1. I know, some Cowboys fans want that, but I don't think that's the majority rule or the majority choice because you have openings at safety, you have openings at linebacker, you have openings at pass rush, also offensive tackle, and this tackle class isn't that deep at all. So if you're gonna get one with that first round pick, I would take one there. Also need a receiver. A guy like Luther Burden at that spot makes a lot of sense. A guy like Isaiah Bond that early doesn't make sense. Probably had to trade back to get him, maybe even second round. But this receiver class isn't the greatest either. So if you can get a Burden with round one, that being Luther Burden, receiver from Mizzou, if you get him and then get a guy like Henderson in round two, that is speed, that is explosiveness, and that is something that the Cowboys don't really have. Their main two guys they rely on explosive plays on is for Turpin and CeeDee Lamb. Those are only two guys that have Cooks, I guess. Throwing Cooks in there as well. But outside of Cooks, who is also a pending free agent, also, if I'm not mistaken, you have Turpin and you have Lamb. That's it. No more explosiveness, no more playmaking on that team at all. And that's something that needs to be fixed this offseason. Limited cap space. You can restructure CD's contract and also Dak's contract, but do you want to do that? Push more money in the future? That's up for debate, so for me personally, I think making the sound decision of, like I said, Luther Burden, a tackle, even Malachi Starks at safety from Georgia. He himself fills multiple gaps. He's a hybrid safety, play in the box, play single high, play two safety deep. Like he can do it all, and he's a good tackler, good playmaker, everything on that back end. Or you can go a guy like Jahai Campbell from Bama, explosive guy, can rush from the middle, rush from the edge, do it all guys well. So, I just think Jeanty, he's a great prospect. The idea of him makes sense. He's a Boise State guy, and we know, Cowboys have a history with Boise State players. But I just think TreVeyon Henderson in round two makes a lot of sense. Gives you that Jahmyr Gibbs type of vibe. And you look at the free agency market for the running backs, there's some good ones out there. The one I want to pinpoint on is Najee Harris from the Pittsburgh Steelers. There was rumors swirling this offseason about him being moved there. I did a video on it. I thought it made sense. Obviously, it didn't happen, but I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers will bring back Najee Harris. I just think that ship is kind of sailed. So bringing in Harris as a lead back, as a more physical back for the Cowboys next year, and then you pairing him with a speed guy, same way they did him in Pittsburgh, him and Jalen Warren. And Warren isn't the quickest, fastest guy, but he's faster and quicker than Harris. So you bring in Harris, 1 year, 2 year deal, because the running back market is trash. You bring him in, you draft Henderson in round two. I think that's a perfect match. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not quite Montgomery and Gibbs, but it gives you the same vibe. And I think what the Lions are doing, which everybody's done in the past, but that rare elite speed that Gibbs have, like I said, Henderson doesn't have that, but he's close. Him and Sampson, I believe his name is Dylan Sampson, I think, from Tennessee. Those are two quickest guys in this class that are round two, round three worthy guys. You might be someone faster, but they're not going to be in a round two conversation. If not Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, even bring back Rico Dowdle. That makes sense. He's someone had a good first half. Had a slow first half for the Cowboys, and pick it up a lot in the second half. Looked very good, and ran very well. He is older, getting up there. I think pushing 29. So I don't know how long you want to bring him in, or if you want to bring him back at all. So like I said, Najee Harris, I believe going on 27 makes sense as well. So more physical, more, and he can do it all, just not at a fast pace. So he can catch outside the backfield, block, all that good stuff. Then if you do, Cowboys fans want to target a guy like Henderson, just be aware though, because he's a guy unlike Gibbs, because we've seen Gibbs, and well, we haven't seen Gibbs for a full season be a workhorse, a bell cow back, but I wouldn't want Henderson touching the ball more than 10 to 15, maybe 17 times max a game, unless he's hot or something like that, maybe 20 plus, but that's and not just runs, but screen passes, out the backfield plays, all that good stuff. Not just strictly run the ball, So, um, if you're gonna get a guy like Henderson, just be aware of his injury history and be aware of his frame. His frame isn't the biggest. He nice build up top. His lower half kind of small to me. Kind of skinny legs, skinny calves. With the injury history as well, I would kind of be aware of that as well. Kind of, his build kind of funny to me. Big upper body, small lower body, but he's fast as I don't know what, and that's what really matters. Speed, playmaking, all that good stuff matters in modern day NFL, and the Cowboys lack that. And as I said, Turpin, he's not really a mainstay at receiver. He might get more burn next year, probably not though, but he might. You never know. But Turpin, I like a lot. As a kick return, made Pro Bowl as kick returner, had a couple touchdowns at receiver as well. Kind of a gadget guy. As I said, Tolbert, I like a lot out of Tolbert from SMU a couple years ago, who I love. I bet on Tolbert for a touchdown every game down there. I believe him a lot. But he's not a playmaker either. He's good, he's solid, but he's not going to be nothing special. I think, as I said, pairing Henderson with round two with a round one guy like Burden, that's not bad. You can't. That's immediate. That's two guys right there who change the landscape of the offense. Speed, playmaking, dangerous, and that allows you to not. Well, allows defenses to not focus on CeeDee Lamb so much. That allows defenses to be scared when you see Henderson on the field. When you see, Bird in line the slot, Lamb on the outside, Turpin, Told, like you can do a bunch of things. Ferguson at tight end isn't a slouch. He's not the greatest, but he's not bad. So I think anything, a lot more options are available to you. A lot more. Everything is more available to you, in my opinion, if you don't go Jeanty for the Cowboys in round one. And like I said, I have no skin in the game. I'm a Falcons fan. We have our running back 1 and 2 set in stone. I love both of our guys. I don't want Jeanty. Don't need him. But, and even still, even if the Cowboys did want him, you could see a team in the top 5 take him. I know it'll be crazy, but we know how some teams fall in love. The Raiders are a couple picks before the Cowboys, a nice amount of picks before the Cowboys. The Giants, the Browns at pick 2 might trade back. The Patriots at pick, I believe, 3 or 4 might trade back or take them there. You never know. So a team could trade up. A team could trade down from where he is and still get him. Before the Cowboys get to him. So it's definitely a lot of options, though, guys. But overall, man, I just think that the Cowboys need to make the best decision for themselves and not go with the hype, not go with what everyone's saying, and they should go with the smart play. And that's getting a blue chip guy, whoever it may be, a Banks from Texas, a Campbell from LSU, as I said, Malachi Starks, Campbell, Nick Scorton, Pat, whatever you need or you feel that they might need, and then get that running back in this super deep running back class. Caleb Johnson, Hampton, Ollie Gordon, Sampson, Henderson. The list goes on. A bunch of guys I'm not even forgetting. The guy from Rutgers, physical guy from Rutgers. A bunch of guys you can go with. So we'll see what they do. Cowboys have had a decent draft history. Not the greatest, but not the worst either. So we'll see what happens. But overall, my message: don't go Jeanty first round. It's cool. It makes sense, but you have more holes to fill, and you can fill that up with a blue chip prospect where they can be picking that. So that's it for video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.